Welcome to round 4 of the MidEast racing season for the Pro Quad division. This weekend, the quads are returning to Strange's Ranch, a track many racers have been battling it out on for years. A massive rainstorm flooded much of the lower sections of the track, which would lead to some serious carnage. Other parts of the track were fresh and loamy, which allowed the riders to settle back in and really hammer down.
Going back to back today, right, man?
That's the plan. If I can take down this man.
You gonna let him go back to back?
No, he ain't going back to back. No, we're gonna battle it out today.
In the women's division, Michelle Harrison is currently wearing the crown. Not only the points lead, but fresh off a win. She's looking to go back to back. This week, McKenzie Luckadoo is returning, trying to take that win for herself. But there's a ton of other ladies out there this week who all want to steal that victory. On Pro Row at this point, it looks like Glauda Jr is unstoppable, not only having won every race, but also led every single lap. Abee and Walraven look like his biggest threats, but also they have to battle with one another.
You look like this is the end, right?
The what?
You're gonna look like this is the end, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm not gonna hit any mud. I'm gonna hydroplane over everything.
If you're first, you can't get splashed, right?
Exactly. I'm gonna get out front, and then that junior guy, you might as well go back to Waxhaw.
Thank you. Good luck, brother.
In the 4x4 division, the race for the title is wide open. Each round has had a different winner so far. David Elliott, your title favorite, has been denied to win for the first 3 races. Meanwhile, Jeff Rush and Brian Russell are looking to get the job done again to be the first with 2 victories on the year. When Ricky Towery waves the green flag, Pro Row blasts off. Grayson Eller jumps out in front with Nathan Hondurelis hot on his heels. Glauda Jr would get off to a slow start, going last into the woods. When the ladies roared off the line, Sherilyn Dole jumped out in front, taking the whole shot, with Michelle Harrison right behind her. Today, Elliott on the number 40 Can-Am Monster would charge out front, grabbing the whole shot. But the battle would be far from over. Brian Russell and Jeff Rush didn't want to let him escape. James Hunter in the C25 Plus class blast off the line, taking the whole shot. For the first lap, he would also be able to hold off Jonathan Wisnap from being able to take the top spot. However, on the second lap, he would run into some trouble, costing him nearly 4 minutes on the lap. That would drop Hunter all the way back into 4th place.
When you're running out of luck, need to get unstuck, so go off. When you're up against the wall and you cannot fall, so go off, go off.
By the end of the first lap, Michelle Harrison would be out in front by a comfortable margin time-wise, but this track, nothing was safe. And on the second lap, she started having quad troubles. She would fall from the lead, dropping all the way back into 6th place.
What happened?
The battery battery.
Oh, that sucks.
I need a new mechanic. That's on my husband's season.
Well, much to no one's surprise, by the time they flew down the final few corners, a familiar face was out front. Glauda Jr. has made his way all the way through the field and was a few seconds ahead of Cameron Abee. Dylan Walraven would get pushed to the back of the pack, coming through the finish line nearly last on the first lap. On the second lap, however, he would make up for it, notching the second fastest lap of the day, jumping all the way up into third place. With Glauda Jr. pulling away, Cameron Abee had built up a nice little lead of about a minute on the rest of the field. But as the track wore down, it seemed so did Abee. By lap 4, Dylan Walraven had caught up to him. And early on the next lap, Cameron Abee ran into some trouble, which allowed for Walraven to blast past him. The two would begin to battle it out, but at points, Dylan Walraven will pull up by nearly a minute. At the end of the first lap, Brian Russell was only a mere 6 seconds behind David Elliott. Starting the second lap, the battle continued with the top two trading spots throughout the lap. By the end of the second lap, Brian Russell had not only the lead, but a sizable gap as well. Unfortunately for him, that would be short-lived as the track ended up getting him on the third lap. He would lose almost 3 minutes of time between the mud holes, trees, and massive ruts. This would give David Elliott the lead back, and he would never look back. As the laps would go by, normally the racers would settle in, improving their lap times. Today the track was different. It would get progressively worse and more rough and rutted out. Not to mention the mud holes, they didn't dry up, they got even worse. Each lap, racers had to look for new lines or get stuck in old ones. On the last lap, Cameron Abee would dig deep, running Walraven back down. He would get right up to his back bars, however, unfortunately, he would end up getting caught and stuck briefly, and second place would slip away. This track was brutal even for the pros. Countless laps by all the pros were 2, 3, and 5 minutes off pace due to getting stuck in the mud, muck, roots, and ruts. Weston Scott and Joshua Pruitt will be forced to limp their machines home with over 45-minute lap times. That's more than double the average.
The starter went out. It died. About 50 kicks later to 100, she'll fire up.
As with the other classes, the track would take its toll on the women. Each lap, the field would reduce in size as someone else had to drop out. By the third lap, two of your projected favorites, once leader Michelle Harrison, would not make it back to the start line as her quad had finally died, and McKenzie Luckadoo would be forced to retire as well. That would leave Abee Huggins, who would seem to run away with it. Going into the last lap, she would have nearly a 15-minute lead. Due to the rough terrain and her quad stalling often, it would eventually lead to her battery dying before she could see the checkered flag. This would allow Sherilyn Dole, who started off with the whole shot, ending up taking the checkers and getting her first-class win. Due to all the chaos, we actually had to catch up with her the next day.
How was the race yesterday?
I landed on running fifth through the whole race until the very last lap, but it was really muddy and it was nice. I pushed real hard.
Heck yeah, got the win?
I got the win finally. I pushed so hard for it.
Heck
so
yeah, well,
nice.
hopefully next race you get another. The second one comes easy, right?
I'm gonna try. I mean, I've been placing high up, so this was just my day.
Heck
I
yeah.
pulled the whole shot and everything.
Heck yeah, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
As rough as the track was, Glauda Jr. would handle it nearly perfectly. He only had one bad lap that only slightly damaged his lead. He would go on to make it 4 for 4 with Dylan Walraven getting second and Cameron Abee rounding out your podium positions.
You and Cameron were still pretty close and you just turned it on.
Yeah, I had a pretty bad start. I was dead last, I think.
You just had to make it exciting, right?
Yeah.
Or eventful day at least. Awesome, man. Well, good luck next weekend.
Thanks.
Yeah, muddy one.
How was it, man?
It was good. A little bit muddy.
Came back, got Cameron at the end.
What?
Came back and got him in the end.
Yeah. This was a little like oil, so.
That's good for him, right?
Oh yeah, oil's good for him.
Heck yeah, man. Well, good race.
Thank you.
How's the race, man?
Man, I felt really good. Had a really good pace going there for pretty much the whole race, just trying to run from Dylan. I knew he was coming, and he caught me with 2 to go, and he took a really good line and got around me, and man, I just made a couple mistakes, ended up getting wedged in between 2 trees there with one after he got around me, and had to get off and pick the bike up. And man, when you're pushing like we are, that takes a lot out of you. So
Oh, yeah.
last lap, I wasn't too far behind him. I could see him, and he hit a tree, and I got right up on him. I was like, thank God, that's what I needed to catch him. And I'd be darned if I didn't hit the exact same tree. So P3 on the day, it is what it is. Good point. So felt pretty good.
Yeah, man. Good race.
Thank you.
While the track was still a battle itself, it was one that David Elliott was ready to conquer, securing his first win on the season. Brian Russell would hold on for second place, and Jeff Rush would get that last podium spot. He also would retain his current points lead. As the race would progress in the C25 Plus division, the man on the move would be Zach Bothwell. His lap times wouldn't improve dramatically during the race, but he would outsurvive the class. Avoiding the mud holes and not getting stuck pays off. Just listen to what he had to say about the race.
The fun?
Hell yeah, boy. Super fun.
How did you lead the whole race, or?
Nah, I was in 4th place, first lap, and then I think 2nd place for 2-3 laps. And then in last 2 laps, I was able to get up front. Right after the finish line, I seen the guy in first, so passed him and then checked out.
Heck yeah, man. What was the best part?
Not getting stuck.
I lost rear brakes on the 3rd turn in. Had to chase him all day. Eventually started seeing him, and then tried to make a pass a couple times in the field. He ended up having some issues and having to pull off, I guess, last lap.
Heck yeah, man. He's going to run the table the rest of the year, right?
That's the plan.
Yeah, good luck.
This concludes our coverage of Strange's Ranch. Thank you all for coming out and checking out the content as well. If there's anyone you would like to see us cover in the next video, please let us know down in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching, and see you next time at Chestnut Corner.